Here I don't budget. One of my tires split open, so I had no plan. Just do it, figure it out.
Hi, what's your name?
Marek.
Where are you from?
I'm originally from Poland, but I live in the United States.
And what brings you down here to the Philippines?
I own my business, so as long as I have Wi-Fi, I can work anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm planning a ride I'm going to Vietnam in a week, and I'm going to ride from Hanoi to Ho Chi Minh, down the coast. And while I'm here in the Philippines, I'm probably going to ride from here down to Dumaguete, through Oslo, up to Bacolod. Not really sure exactly where.
Yeah.
But I enjoy, renting a bike here or buying a bike here, and then just going for like a long ride.
Nice, man. Sounds relaxing.
It's not bad. It's not about relaxing. I don't need to relax. I need an adventure.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to sit on the beach all day. I need a break from the monotony.
Yeah.
So I did a ride in Palawan where in the pouring rain, we were rushing back to the airport and one of my tires split open.
Yeah.
Full speed and the road carved into a canyon. Tires split open, lost control of the bike, managed to gain control before we went off a cliff. I gotta be honest, that was exciting. I remember that more vividly than the boring parts.
Yeah.
I work an 8-hour week, so for me it's more about the excitement and the adventure than relaxing.
I understand you, man. How long have you been here in the Philippines?
Now 3 days.
It's 3 days. Is this your first time here?
No, I've been here, I don't know. I've been everywhere.
More than once, I guess.
I've been here at least to the Philippines specifically, at least 6 times.
Okay, nice. What keeps bringing you back here? What do you like the most about this place?
Well, it costs nothing. I have a beautiful Airbnb downtown that costs me $25 a night. When I did London and Paris, I had to budget. Here, I don't budget.
I hear you, man. Perfect. Are you single? Are you in a relationship?
Single.
Okay. Have you dated any Filipinas here?
Yeah.
Any difference between Western women and Filipinas?
Well, it depends. They're not all the same.
Of course.
But I would say as a whole, as an aggregate, and again, this is not singling out anybody specifically, that's an important caveat. I feel like Filipino women and generally non-Western women tend to be more nurturing.
Yeah.
And it's there is this unfortunate stereotype, and it's not necessarily wrong, that a lot of people that come to Southeast Asia are incels, and a lot are, yeah. But a lot of guys, like me, often are just tired of Western women being extremely materialistic, being demanding, and then just not being all that kind.
Yeah.
Not to be arrogant, I'm 6'3", I work out every day, I'm nearly 300 pounds, I make good money. I can meet a Western woman. But I can also meet somebody overseas who's friendlier and more nurturing and just a lot nicer to me. Again, the body is, you get beautiful women everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Whether it's, not London doesn't, no. But New York, Los Angeles, Bangkok, Colombia, anywhere you go, you'll have beautiful women.
Yeah.
The difference is who they are as people.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for something serious, that's what matters.
Okay. Now, usually these interviews last about 30 seconds or a minute, but you seem very interesting. If you don't mind, I would like to ask you a couple more questions.
Yeah, I got nothing to do until at least a half hour.
Okay, great. So, tell me about province life and city life. Have you lived in the province before?
In the Philippines?
In the Philippines, yeah.
I haven't lived in the province. But actually, what's interesting is kind of a similar thing. There's a big difference between, for example, here, somebody who works in IT Park has a good job in a call center. And I was actually very fortunate. I've got to spend a lot of time in what's called the squatter settlements.
Yeah.
And for those in the West who don't know what that is, it's like semi-permanent housing. They have electricity. They're not homeless.
Yeah.
But it's not like official housing. It's not booked by contractors. It's kind of improvised. And you kind of see it everywhere in the Philippines, right? And you get the same thing in New York. You get the same thing in Europe, where you have extreme wealth and extreme poverty almost side by side. And a couple years ago, I had a really interesting time where I was hanging out with, I wish I remember their name, but it was in squatter settlements. The guy drove a jeepney. So the difference between what is a restaurant and what is somebody's living room, you can't tell as a foreigner.
Yeah.
Right? But we were hanging out, we were drinking Red Horse. They were fascinated by my life, I was fascinated by their lives, and they speak enough English where we could meet in the middle. Well, long story short, I have a fascination with the Jeepneys. Like a huge fascination with them. They're old and they're kept running in a weird way. So one of the best things that happened is one guy drove a Jeepney, and I'm like asking him about it. He shows me the thing, and I'm like, "Can I drive it?" And he's like, "You want to drive it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want to drive it."
Yeah.
And as a car guy, it's a fascinating thing because the Jeepneys, they have to be kept running for nothing, for free, basically.
Yeah.
So this one in particular, the clutch was blown, so you have to rev match the engine and the clutch speed and the engine speed, and the fuel pump was blown. So he had a massive gas tank in like the middle, and you have to keep manually pumping it. So the deal was, as long as I bought him Red Horse, we would drive his route. And I was driving this fucking thing, and it was incredible. Just because, again, I have a nice car at home, but like something about having to pump the gas.
Yeah, it's a completely different world down here in some ways, right?
Yeah, no, and I found that exciting. I'm a car guy, so for me that was super exciting.
Amazing, man. And you like a lot of stuff here. Any dislikes, something that generally you can't adapt to yet, or just bothers you, or could be improved? I know it's a general question, but I want to hear your perspective on dislikes in the Philippines.
Dislikes in the Philippines. No. I try to have a sunny disposition.
Yeah.
And there's something I don't like. I try not to think about it. In fact, you know what I fucking hate? I hate the way Americans act in this country.
Yeah.
I got it. No, not just Americans, but
Foreigners.
listen. As an American, I can be shitty, but when I'm overseas, I'm on my best behavior.
Yeah.
I had actually right here last year, I had an incident that made me want to just like slink in a hole and die. What was it? The total was something where it was 45 pesos and or something of the sort. And the guy was giving her, I forget the number, was giving her 50 pesos, and he happened to have a 5 peso in his hand.
Yeah.
And the girl goes to him, "Sir, do you have 5 pesos?" And he's like, "Why? I'm giving you more than the total." And I'm like, "Oh, fuck me, this dude." And he's like, "Sir, if you give me 5 pesos, I can give you a 10 peso instead of some kind of change." And he's like, "Are you trying to rip me off?" And I'm like, "Oh, shut the fuck up, dude. Don't fulfill the stereotype of Americans being stupid and ignorant. Like, don't do both at the same time." So that's, if I say anything about here with the Philippines, that's going to be it. It's the way some foreigners act. And then you get some foreigners who like the sex tourists who like just think of like people here as sluts and here to like please them. Like, dude, they're human beings. Like, behave. And if anybody ever comes to the Philippines or anywhere in the world, try to act like you're an ambassador of your home country. I do my best. I'm not perfect. Don't pick fights in the bars. Don't be an asshole. And if some poor person rips you off for like, what was like 20 cents to you, just let it go. But that's probably the worst thing that you see in the Philippines, the way Americans act.
Now, you don't look like the type of guy that needs online dating, or how do you meet women in the Philippines?
Honestly, the most interesting woman I've met was a byproduct of doing something, and that's just in general in life, right? I feel like if I meet somebody who, like I've met women in the States rock climbing or at motorcycle riding events, it's kind of nice meeting somebody through that because then you already have a shared interest. So I would say most of the interesting people, not just relationships I've had, was more organic.
Yeah.
And Tinder's a shit show, fuck Tinder.
Yeah.
Tinder's a shit show, Bumble's a shit show. Like, I'm just not interested.
Yeah, I agree.
I've used them and all, but it's not, the amount of time you put into it, it's not going to be.
For sure. Any advice for someone that's never been here to the Philippines and just considering coming here? What advice would you give them?
Well, I mean, listen, figure out why you're coming here. Listen, if you're coming here because you're 50 years old and you're divorced and you just want somebody to die with you, then that's fine, and you're gonna behave differently. If you're here because you want to go like free diving, then you want to go to Palawan, somewhere like that, figure out why you're going. And one of the reasons I actually came, when I first came, I was actually 25, 26 years old and deeply, deeply depressed. And one of the advice I got from a friend was like, look, you can be depressed at home or you can be depressed on the beach somewhere. And I was kind of like, well, that kind of makes sense. So, and then she had recommended places like Thailand, Latin America. Because at that point I was broke as a joke.
Yeah.
I didn't have no money. And I looked, my round trip flight was $600 at that point. This is pre-COVID.
Yeah.
hotels were 20 bucks a night. I'm like, I'm broke, but I can afford this. So I had no plan. I booked my ticket, and I remember I walked off the airport, and I just kind of walked until I found something I wanted to do. That's how it started for me. Again, just needing a change of situation, and you know, a lot of my friends have asked me, like, you travel a lot, how do you get started? And I asked them, like, what do you want to do? Like,
Yeah.
why do you want to travel? And if it's a question of procrastinating, like what I do a lot of times is like, I'll just be bored, I'll be on Google Flights, I'll see a cheap ticket somewhere. I'm like, shit, Singapore for 800 bucks round trip, all right, I'll book it. And I'll book it months in advance. I'm self-employed, so I have the flexibility.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, the flight comes around, and I'm like, oh shit, I really should start probably planning this. But once you book the flight, it's kind of a catalyst to like actually do the thing.
Yeah.
Like, I have this flight, I can't refund it. Because a lot of my friends, they say, oh, one day I'll go do whatever the hell it may be. Once you book the flight and it's past that 24-hour window of refunding it, you might as well go.
Yeah.
You paid for it.
Exactly.
So
just do it.
Unfortunately, just do it. Figure out why you're doing it.
Yeah.
You know, and if you really are here because you want to meet women or you want to do that, then spend the $10, get Tinder Plus, put it on the location, use Asia Date, whatever the fuck you want to do,
Yeah.
and set something up. It's not that hard with internet. That being said, all the rules of online dating apply. You don't know who you're actually going to meet. But the best thing is, like, I wouldn't come here for that reason. Come here to get out of your comfort zone, go enjoy something. If you ride a motorcycle, if you like riding in the United States, if you come to Cebu, there's a guy where we're like SKR Cycles. I'll message him on Facebook before I come. Okay, I'm gonna be here this day. What do you got for me? What do you got available? And I'll get a bike and I'll tell him roughly where I'm going. And then one time I'm just like, dude, I'm just going where the highway takes me. And that's it. I landed. I took 2 days to adjust to the time change, and then I rode south. And just do it. Figure it out. It costs you nothing.
Yeah.
If you make a mistake, you got to book another hotel because you got to make a destination. It's going to cost you 20 bucks. Who cares?
Yeah, I like the way you think, man. Honestly, I think a lot of us need to start thinking that way.
No, what I realize in life is if you want to make real money, find what nobody wants to do, whatever that may be. In my case, it was cleaning toilets. And get really good at whatever nobody wants to do, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
Get really good at it, train people to do it, and then grow from there.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, man. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, brother.
Leave your thoughts down below. Let me know what you think of his experience in the Philippines. Anything you write, if you take your time to write it, I take your time to respond. And for me personally, I completely agree with him 100%. Whenever you're traveling, you're definitely representing your country, so your behavior matters a lot. Don't try to start fights. Don't get drunk and be belligerent. Don't look down on people despite how much money you think you have. It's just not the nice thing to do. And you want to be ambassador of the world and represent your country the way you want people to think of you in that manner. And if you're new to the channel, do me a huge favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.